Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. You know, I don't love making sweeping generalizations, so I want to remind you that there are generalities being made here, and that obviously not everybody will or can agree on this. But there are some common things that come up when you ask women what they like and don't like on a man. I already made an episode about what women love men to wear. I'll link to it at the end of this episode so that we can end on something positive. In my experience, I find that women are even more particular about their preferences when it's a man they're actually dating. They don't truly care what guys on the street are wearing, but they want a man that they're involved with to be putting his best foot forward and presenting well, I suppose. I've done research here and I've looked at other people's research and I've come up with a list of things that some women say, many women say, they just don't find attractive on a guy. Not sure if you're a guy who cares about that, but if you are, it may come in handy at some point when you're out dating, or maybe not. In any case, here's a list of things that women just aren't loving on the fellas. Just a quick mention about designer logos, whether it's a belt buckle or a designer name splashed across your shirt. Lots of women seem to find this ostentatious, bit of a turnoff. So if you're a guy who thinks this might be impressing women, it could be having the opposite effect. Number 2, let's talk a little bit about shoes here, different shoes. I think we're going to start from the bottom up. Old shoes, raggedy shoes. I can personally attest to the fact that some of my clients don't think women notice their shoes. This could not be further from the truth. Just because you're not staring down at your feet, thankfully, doesn't mean people don't see you coming towards them from top to bottom. We notice each other's shoes, women, and we're definitely looking at yours. And if they've seen better days, keep in mind that they're not meant to last forever. Plastic shoes. You know what I'm talking about. We can argue whether or not these are even shoes at all. We can argue whether they're even cute on children, but when adults wear them, this creates some really polarizing opinions. Some people are disgusted by the things, so why take the risk? Plus, you're probably more likely to get a fungal infection. I don't know if that's true. I personally can't stand the things. Hiking shoes when you're not hiking. Why? We think these are the only shoes you own, and we think grown men should have some grown-up shoes. Chunky dad sneakers. They're white, they're very blocky, they're very practical. You know, there are pretty cute sneakers out there if you look a little bit harder. Sure, if you insist that these reflect who you really are as a person, fine. But just know that they're sending a message, and please don't wear them on a first date. I want to take a minute here to welcome Taboo, a new partner to the channel. I know there are women here, like myself, who aren't currently in a relationship. Some of us have chosen to embrace a single life for now, while others are still looking for someone fantastic before pursuing a physical relationship. What I learned is that there are repercussions for mature women who aren't maintaining an active sex life, and that's why I chose to partner with Taboo. Created by women, for women, their mission is to make sexual self-care feel as natural as our skincare and exercise routines. After a really honest conversation with her own mother about the challenges of sex and menopause, the founder of Taboo partnered with gynecologists, urologists, and pelvic floor physical therapists in order to create a truly gorgeous line of tools, not toys, to help maintain sexual well-being. The Golden Hour Kit, it includes everything you need to help address common symptoms, including dryness, low libido, a lack of body confidence, stress, things that often come up as our bodies go through very normal hormonal changes. The name isn't encouraging us to keep quiet, and that's why I'm not. We have to have these conversations with one another. So take a closer look at these really glamorous tools. Just check out the link in my description box below and make sure you use the code CAREY10 to get your 10% off when you take this first step to prioritize your sexual health. And remember, as my own mother likes to say, use it or lose it. Women feel very strongly about pointy toes shoes. Why does this sound weird? Women feel very strongly about pointy toe shoes. I so rarely see pointy toe shoes that I don't know why there are such strong feelings about them, but it comes up a lot. Unless you live somewhere where cowboy boots are the norm, you might want to avoid pointy toes on your shoes. Now let's move up a little bit and talk about pants. Distressed or torn jeans. Sure, they have been in style, they've been stylish, but I mean, logically speaking, buying something that's already torn is a little ridiculous if you think about it. And now that it's kind of not a fashion statement, I don't know if it's really worth flaunting. Next on pants, sagging butt jeans or oversized jeans. Perhaps it's because women want to see what your physique actually looks like, or possibly it's because they appear unkempt, but they're also on women's list of things they don't like on a man, so I would avoid those. Now, slacks or dress pants that are too tight also show up on the list. It's the opposite, but also true. We don't want to see too much. And as my mother seems to say on occasion when people wear clothes that look like they're too small, looks like he's wearing his little brother's clothes. Underneath those pants, white underwear, white torn underwear. Might as well talk about what's under those jeans or slacks, and I'm not here to debate boxers or briefs. We all have our preferences, but just make sure that they're in decent condition and clean. Women don't like raggedy underwear. It almost feels like you don't think you're worth buying a pack of new underwear. Cargo shorts. Somewhere along the way, these became a joke on the internet, and we haven't been able to recover from that. So women don't like cargo shorts anymore. I know they're practical, all the pockets, so useful, not really attractive. I'd avoid them. This next one is rather specific, but pants or long jeans with flip-flops. I don't necessarily agree with this, but a lot of women will say that they don't like flip-flops in general on a guy. As a side note, I'll add that if you're wearing flip-flops or sandals for something very casual, just make sure your feet are well groomed. It's not hard to do, and if you can't do it yourself, there are places that will do that for you. And the final two things that women hate that cover your bum are baggy sweatpants and Speedo bathing suits. Doesn't really require much explanation. Shall we talk about shirts for a bit? Deep V-neck t-shirts. T-shirts with a stretched out baggy collar, and untucked dress shirts that are just too long. They just cover your whole tush, so they look like they're supposed to be tucked in, but you're trying to make them more casual by wearing them untucked. Women don't like that look. Obviously, as t-shirts get older, the collars get stretched out, they lose their shape, but that's when they're supposed to make that transition from your drawer or closet into the garage or the cabinet so that you can use them to dry your car. And also, as far as casual tees go, t-shirts that are very worn, frayed, or have holes. And the worst is any shirt that has armpit stains. So be careful of that, and the frays that your beards sometimes make inside the collars can actually destroy the fabric. The other shirt thing women don't like are tacky t-shirts, sayings, or jokes. I'm with stupid, but it doesn't even have to be as bad as that for it to be a turn-off. T-shirts with big logos or large patterns. Shirts that scream, hey, look at my shirt. Don't forget, guys, you're supposed to wear the clothes. They're not supposed to wear you. Speaking of wearing you, cologne you can smell at a distance. We should really only be able to smell it once we're like nuzzled in your neck. It shouldn't enter the room before you do. And if you're dating a particular woman, you should ask her about her preference, because not all of us like cologne. Some of us don't really like it at all. So why not cater to the woman that's important to you? Moving up, baseball caps, hats in the evening or on a date. This is obviously a leisure wear item and definitely not date wear. Also, we're assuming that you're losing your hair if you're wearing one all the time. And a little side note, I've read that if you have all your hair and you wear one all the time, that it rubs and it's going to help you to lose your hair. So you may want to check into that. It's like when women wear a too tight ponytail all the time. Not good for us. hats. We're kind of doing accessories, I think, so let's mention too much jewelry. Some women love jewelry on a guy, and some don't. So you need to do what makes you feel most like yourself here. But perhaps you could take a tip from women. We've been told for years that once you're fully dressed, right before you leave your house, take off one piece. We like jewelry on men who can pull it off. Just don't overdo it with too much chunky stuff. Speaking of accessories, sunglasses at night, white socks with dress pants or sandals. Anything torn, tattered, or looks like it's seen better days. And just remember that you can wear what you want, but putting a little extra effort in shows respect for the person you're going to meet. You may think that nobody pays attention to what you're wearing or nobody notices, but that's not true, not at all. I'm always shocked when men seem surprised by this. Maybe it's a guy thing. And finally, my pet peeve, sports jerseys. Because you're not on the team. Not only are you not on the team, they can't even hear you yelling at them. So save that one for the game. Shoes, pants, shirts, and everything above. Yeah, I think we covered it all. Take this for what it's worth. The most important thing is that you walk out of your house wearing something that makes you feel most like yourself. Because fashion, and because what you wear is considered. People notice. These are fashion statements that we're all making. And if your message is, I don't have a fashion statement to make, that's fine. Keep it simple, but for goodness sake, make sure it's all in good shape to show that you at least made an effort, and an effort for this other person if it's a date. I hope you found that helpful or interesting. Here's that episode I was mentioning earlier. These are the things that women love to see on a man, so I think we should end positive, so head that way. Hey, wait, did you give Mom a thumbs up? And please hit the subscribe button too before you leave. It means the world to me. I'll look forward to seeing you back here again soon. And until next time, have a good one.